I am Major J.D. Loftis.
Sorry, it just turned it on. So
okay.
Okay. And you just look at me the whole time. Yeah.
Okay. I do know a little bit of Pashto poetry. Zrame Warker wa Khodai Harchishi Takiapa Khodai Pasada da Shakeki Yaba Shasham Yagode Yaba Kanam the Waheta Pasuriki the Hame. I didn't get it exactly right. But this is Rahman Baba, and he's talking about basically, it doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor, a prince or a pauper. He's talking about relying on God for everything. Harchishi Takiapa Khodai. Within the Air Force, within the officer corps, there are 3 Pashto speakers, 2 trained, 1 native. Now, I am the first, to my knowledge, the first military Pashto speaker to join a PRT in Afghanistan. I was representing the PRT at a Poetry Society convention. This was 40 young men, a very desirable demographic for us to reach out to, and 3 young women who were accepted into that gathering, one of whom actually read her own poetry. And I can recall how nervous this young lady was. Her hands were visibly shaking as she was holding the paper, and I made some remarks in Pashto about supporting their endeavors, and I actually recited 3 lines of Rahman Baba poetry that I had actually been wanting to do. I'd figuratively put them in my back pocket. And of course they hooped and hollered about this American. Not only did he learn to speak Pashto, but he learned to speak Pashto poetry, which is even harder than vernacular Pashto.
There have been some problems, some security problems with that community, but yet we were putting a school there. And so we got the elders together first to put a kibosh on it. We said, we're not going to build this school just yet. We need to repair relations with the community, is the way I phrased it.
And those are probably the 2 biggest mistakes where there's a lot of schools sitting unused. Is we built schools and there's no teachers. We built schools, there's a gossip.
A lot of our routes are, just full of IEDs from the enemy, which makes 50% of the populace inaccessible to the PRT.
The route we're going to be taking is right out of here, heading up to the ECP road right there, going all the way down to the Sheikh Mahdi. That's the school down there.
Let's say we're doing a foot patrol in the city. We call them presence patrols, and we like to let the population know that we are around, and so they're less afraid of us. Now, what I do as a Pashto speaker, and this is what I would love for more people to be able to do with language, is let's say there's somebody, a motorcyclist, who is stopped by our patrol passing by. When we do cause them inconvenience, I will go up to them and I'll say, "Oh, please excuse the delay here. We have to do this for security." And I say it in Pashto. And what begins as a cold, hard, resentful stare towards me ends up in a big smile, because there's somebody who has taken the time, the trouble to learn their language and to explain our actions to them without necessarily apologizing.
Masterga Heltawachu, Danum, Obakistiwo, Abade Lar Ehsaan me Danum to Lasker.
So what were you talking to them about?
Oh, just everything. Everything. We talked about religion. We talked about the purpose of America here. I wanted to get their idea, and I shared my idea. Oh, they talked about nighttime operations and how, why are they necessary for security. I answered that in wartime, sometimes difficult operations need to be conducted, and that we need their help we in the ANA all have to work together with them so that we can conduct security operations correctly. They tried to make me a Muslim too, and I politely said that I believe in the same God that they do, and that the differences in religion are very, very small compared to our larger purposes of living with them. كتساهمتي زيني سوالونا دير سخدي فكركم جدا سخر لازمي دي تيموج يا زاي با وكورو دير منا
Can you read us already? No. You do speak Spanish, so.
Yeah.
Somewhat exact.
I'm one of those guys beating everybody up about language, and I can't speak a squat of anything. All right, well, we need to build you a school.
Roger.
They don't really need a school. They need this. Right. You know, we built them a school, and they're still in a need, and what do we do for them? Nothing, because we didn't take the time to understand what they really need sometimes.
So make sure.
How are we doing? I'll just say we need to do better. We need more language speakers, both Dari and Pashto, on PRTs and in the field. We need to be able to reach people better. We need longer-term relationships that last for longer than a few months at a time. That's the key to getting better. The way I like to say this is that the enemy is the target, the people are the objective. Don't lose one as you pursue the other.
لهم قلوب لا يفقهون بها ولهم أعين لا يبصرون بها.
One of my favorite phrases, Paduarsturgu. Literally it means by both eyes, but what it really means is at your service. So if somebody comes and asks me for a favor, say, can you let me use your pen, for example? It's a very simple. I say, oh, Paduarsturgu, of course, here it is. My family's going to be here for me, and I want to be there for my family. And I have my wife and an 11-year-old girl and an 8-year-old girl, and I've missed a lot of ballet recitals and soccer games, and it's not the right time for me to sign up for 2 additional years away from them. I don't like the term hearts and minds because it can be twisted to just about anything. But what I do believe, like I said, the people are the objective, and enabling the government to serve the needs of its people is how the war is going to be won.
سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.